This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Coming up on the South today, new survey results reveal Otago business owners are feeling positive, but commercial enterprises still have some hurdles. A change in surroundings inspires a professional athlete in all the right ways. And we meet an artist who's finding influence in lands that are poles apart. Good evening, I'm Rebecca Dupree. Business confidence throughout Otago is improving, as shown in the latest Paulsen Higgs survey. Analysts say most of the region's business owners are optimistic about the economic forecast for the next year, but they warn commercial sectors aren't without some problems.
Number crunching in relation to the local economy. Staff at Dunedin firm Paulsen Higgs are going through the results of their latest survey. They've been gauging the confidence of business owners throughout Otago.
So we basically asked them one question, which is, do you believe general business conditions over the next 12 months in Otago will improve, remain the same or deteriorate?
The latest monthly survey garnered responses from 105 Otago business owners. The majority are optimistic about the region's general economic outlook for the next 12 months.
So the August results are slightly more positive than July, with 56% of respondents saying they believe general business conditions in Otago will improve. 36% said stay the same, and 8% thought that general business conditions will deteriorate.
Walker says there are several contributing factors to the positive mood. A brighter Fonterra milk forecast is having an impact, as are strengths in other industries.
The industries which seem to be going well at the moment are construction. The service industry seems to be going well. You could put that down to house prices rising, low interest rates, which gives people more confidence to go out there and spend on food or spend in retail or whatever tickles their fancy.
He says while there's cause for business owners to be happy going into Christmas, they should also be planning for any possible downturns in their respective industries. In Otago, at least one sector's success is generating issues.
With tourism booming, there are some problems. Biggest problem from them is capacity constraints, so finding good quality staff, which is keeping our HR division here at Paulsen Higgs very busy.
Walker says staff are helping regional business owners plan for the next 12 months, aiming to ease any forthcoming hardships, and they'll continue to garner the collective mood across Otago's economy. Rosie Mannins, The South Today.
Dunedin is one of 4 locations nationally where corrections will be trialling extra mental health services for offenders, prisoners and their families. In June, Corrections received $14 million for improved mental health services for offenders in prison and the community over the next 2 years. The trial is taking place in Dunedin, Auckland, Hamilton and Palmerston North. New services are expected to be operating in February. The latest research suggests 62% of prisoners have had some form of mental health or substance abuse disorder. Corrections is aiming to facilitate better access to contracted mental health providers. A leading Otago athlete is making the most of a change in scenery. Challenge Wanaka winner Dougal Allen has recently moved with his young family to Oamaru, and he says the shift in pace is ticking all the boxes.
Making time for family. 30-year-old professional triathlete Dougal Allen is settling into a slightly different lifestyle. With a 2-year-old and another baby on the way, he says the move from Wanaka to Oamaru has been a positive one.
What we've found here is actually a lot quieter pace of life, which really suits us with growing our young family. We want, like a real community with a heart and soul.
Although Oamaru may be small, the professional triathlete says it's proving to be a perfect place for training.
Having good swimming pool here, which we do, and good, quiet, safe roads to ride my bike on has been awesome, and obviously new routes to explore, and running too. Like, there's just a whole mixture of terrain here.
Allen started multisport and off-road racing in Dunedin, then moved to Wanaka, where he continued to make an impact as an athlete. He became focused on triathlon and says the sport suits his physiology, backed up with a history of endurance racing. This year he won Challenge Wanaka and says that's been a huge highlight.
I've had some podium places in races like the Coast to Coast and in Challenge Wanaka in previous years, but it's the old cliche, no one remembers second place, and for me to finally crack a big race like that with a really, really good competitive international field in front of, you know, an Otago home support crowd, it's a memory that will last a lifetime.
He's now training for a couple of half-iron distance races in China in coming months. Over the summer he'll be trying to shape up for Challenge Wanaka 2017. Allen's aiming to better his previous efforts and once again come away with the top result.
Day to day it's usually 2 to 3 training sessions made up of obviously swimming, biking and running, but also I do a lot of work in the gym on strength work. And probably the weekly average would be in that kind of 25-hour range, which for a professional athlete's not massive hours. I'm not a big believer in just going out and doing huge volume for the sake of it. So there's a real quality focus there too.
He's also spending more time coaching others, helping them to push through their own physical boundaries. Rosie Mannins, The South Today.
A Dunedin teenager has won New Zealand's first gold medal of the Rio Paralympics. 19-year-old Anna Grimaldi claimed victory in the women's long jump this morning. Her final effort of 5.62 metres was 3 centimetres ahead of her nearest rival from Cuba. It's a new record for Grimaldi, 21 centimetres more than her previous personal best. The student went into the event ranked number 2 in the world. A Dunedin artist is sharing her unique Antarctica-inspired works while raising money for the Castleberg Trust. The printmaker is working on more multimedia pieces, having been moved by the vastness and extreme temperatures of the sub-Antarctic region. But she now has her sights set on discovering the secrets of another foreign land.
At Dee Copeland's studio on the Otago Peninsula, she looks over works created after her trip to Antarctica back in the summer of 2002. The works form an exhibition called Sub-Zero, and she's sharing her stories with others to help raise funds for the Castleberg Trust.
I was relatively new to the area. I'm not from Dunedin, and I felt it was a way of helping people see what I do, and also to share this very unique experience that I had of going to Antarctica.
Copland always had a desire to go to the frozen continent and says it's her interest in the survival of humankind that drew her there. She describes it as a frozen desert, vast in its beauty with so many shades of white and blue, an inspiring place to be creative.
Being an artist, you tend to be very, very aware, and you want to take in as much as you possibly can take in. So I just opened up my senses and wrote like crazy, drew like crazy, even at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. I didn't care what time I was out there drawing.
She's working on another show that deals with global warming in the southern hemisphere, and now has her sights set on going to one of the hottest parts of Australia.
I'm very intrigued to see what life forms live in an extreme of heat in a desert situation. So that is something on my radar now.
In the meantime, the printmaker will continue to use her Antarctic experiences to bring life to her art and call upon her inner resources, just like the early explorers did back in Shackleton's day. Dee Karen, The South Today.
Well, still to come on The South Today, we meet another of Dunedin's mayoral candidates.
Silberhorn's Collagen Plus naturally supports your collagen levels, giving you younger, firmer looking skin, healthier, shinier hair and stronger nails. Be quick, buy one now and get a second pack half price. Call 0800 502 402.
Hi, I'm Dave Cole, Mayor of Dunedin, and together we're building a great city, not just for now, but for the future. And I'm committed to creating a positive legacy of sensible investments, sustainable businesses, an emphasis on infrastructure and environment, healthier homes, and your community well-being. A future our kids can be really proud to inherit. If you want the same positive future, please mark 1 for Dave Cull for Mayor and return your voting form. Thanks.
It actually changes your mental state. I mean, if you could you could have a bad day, you could walk in to the house and here's the cat or the dog come up to greet you. No matter how bad a day you've had, it's just disappeared.
Mobility Solutions Centre Dunedin provides products to improve your independence, comfort and safety. Contact the team at 4777 195 or visit mobilitysolutioncentre.co.nz.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Wooltech have the experience and the expertise to supply a wide range of high-quality New Zealand-made products and can manufacture customised products to meet your individual requirements. Wooltech, great people, great products, great service.
We need your help to rebuild our animal centre urgently. Please give a little today.
Thinking of services for older people? Think Enliven. Enliven is a service philosophy where people come first. Enliven is about choice, activity, relationships, respect and security. You can enliven your health, your friendships, your life, no matter what your age. For more information, go to pearsotago.org.nz or call 4777 115.
Hi, I'm Dave Cole, Mayor of Dunedin, and together we're building a great city, not just for now, but for the future. And I'm committed to creating a positive legacy of sensible investments, sustainable businesses, an emphasis on infrastructure and environment, healthier homes, and your community well-being. A future our kids can be really proud to inherit. If you want the same positive future, please mark 1 for Dave Cole for Mayor and return your voting form. Thanks.
Welcome back. Well, it's time now to continue our interviews of Dunedin mayoral candidates, and this evening we're joined by Jim O'Malley. Good evening, Jim.
How you doing?
How long have you lived in Dunedin?
Well, in total I've lived in Dunedin 12 years, but it's been over 2 parts. So I came down here as a student years ago and I lived here for 9 years. I then moved to the United States to pursue my career, and I've been over there for 25 years and I've been back in Dunedin for 3.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Why are you running for the mayoralty?
Well, the reason I think that I'm running for the mayoralty is that I think we need a mayor who's going to champion the city, and I do believe that Dave Cole's done a good job in running the council, but he hasn't really been seen out on the street. And I think, you know, a good example of that would be in June of last year when the flood occurred in South Dunedin. If I was mayor at the time, I think you would have seen me down there in the flood, and I wouldn't have gone home till I was sure that everything was done. And I really think we need that kind of mayor. And I think we see some challenges coming in the future around things like, we've had the government withdrawing for years, and I do believe we're going to see it in another form soon in the hospital, and we need a mayor who's going to basically champion the city, and Mayor Cole has already said that he's not going to champion the city over the hospital.
What leadership experience can you bring to the table?
I have a lot of experience working in very big teams. When I was in the States, I went over there, I did a PhD here at Otago and then worked in academia, but then I ended up working in the pharmaceutical industry, and I worked in large corporations, notably Pfizer. And in that environment, I worked with very big teams. We had big budgets, we had to get them in on time, and I was, as a team leader, the kind of person who had to pull a lot of that stuff together. So I think that role fits quite nicely with doing the mayor's job.
What are the top 2 issues for you for Dunedin?
Well, I think they're the ones that people have been bringing up all the time, especially the top one is what happened in South Dunedin last year, how we're going to keep going forward with that. I believe that what happened in South Dunedin should be split into 2 parts. One is there was an infrastructure failure in the face of a weather event, and then as we go forward we are going to see sea level rise, but that's a 30, 40, 50 year event we're going to have to deal with. So it needs to be separated apart. I've done quite a bit of work on that, and in terms of coming to understand that, and that's on my webpage if you want to go to find it there. The other one, and also with South Dunedin, is urban redevelopment. I think we've forgotten that part of the city when it comes to the retail space. We've got to start building all that up again too. We've kind of become a city of 2 halves. The second part is central government withdrawal and the behaviour of central government towards local government. So in that I see that in 2 parts. The first is the hospital. What is going to happen with the hospital? I don't feel very confident yet that we're going to get the rebuild that we want, and as Mayor I'm going to make that a very high priority to keep that in the face of the government that we have right now. With their election coming up, we've got an important role to play there. And then the Local Government Act 2002 Repeal Act 2014 is changing the rules of how local government acts, and I think that's going to be a big threat to the city as well.
What do you see as the core functions of the Dunedin City Council?
Well, the central core function is obviously, water, roads, sewer, that sort of stuff. Beyond that, you have amenities, and I think that pretty much covers most of what the council does. People are asking for the role of council in economic development. That's like the tertiary role. We do have a role to play there, but I think it's mostly in support. I don't really think local government can do too much about economic development except to make sure it doesn't get in the way and it acts in a supporting way.
How do you feel that the current council is performing?
Generally not too bad. I mean, I think they've done a very good job on keeping on top of debt and bringing our debt down. They have pretty much kept their promises on rates rises. I think the only failure has been over time it's become more secretive and less difficult. It's more difficult to figure out what's going on inside the council. And I think that's an issue that really comes from the top, comes from the Mayor and also the executive leadership team. And if I'm Mayor, I'm going to make sure that we are more open.
What would you do differently if you were Mayor?
Primarily, I think that's that first function of making sure that the Mayor is interacting with the city properly. I feel that the Mayor at the moment has almost retreated inside the Civic Centre building and is talking about the city from there, but not actually interacting with the city. And then the other one being, of course, championing the city in these issues with central government.
So what would you say is the most important function of the Mayor?
I think it's not just one, I think there's 2, and basically it's the same again. Running the council, being the chair of the committees and making sure the council runs as a cohesive group, and then the other one is advocate for the city.
Do you have the skills to lead the council?
I believe so. I've worked in organisations that have the same budget size and are as complex as the council. I think I'm fairly good at listening and building cohesion, so I think so, yes.
Where do you think Dunedin's future lies?
We're a city that's been plugging along for years, and I think we'll just keep plugging along in many respects. People talk about us being hip and all that, and the rebuild down in the warehouse district and stuff, and I think that's all very good. There's a talk about how we're becoming a tech centre. I am a technology company owner in the city, and I would say that that's a little bit overspoken. Technology takes a long time to come forward in terms of building up the economy and employing people. I am concerned about the loss of manufacturing jobs in the city because I think that's acting as at drawing us back in our growth, and obviously we're doing very well at the moment with tourism.
What do you love about Dunedin?
I know it's a bit trite to say it, but it is the people. When I was overseas, I was always wanting to come back to New Zealand, and when I was coming back, I had any city in the country to choose from. And I actually got asked did I want to come to Auckland to work with the Mackinac Institute at Auckland University, and I said no, I'll just be passing straight through because I'm going back to where I want to go, which is Dunedin.
And putting your cards on the table, why should Dunedin's ratepayers and residents vote for you?
I think in terms of voting for me, they can be fairly safe with their rates. We're not going to have any vanity programs put in place or anything like that. I think that the thing that I can really bring is that I'm pretty sure I can put together a very cohesive council, and I will be a good advocate for the city in the fights that we have coming up for us.
Dunedin mayoral candidate Jim O'Malley, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.
After the break on The South Today, we'll take a look at weather for the weekend.
Silberhorn's Collagen Plus naturally supports your collagen levels, giving you younger, firmer looking skin, healthier, shinier hair and stronger nails. Be quick, buy one now and get a second pack half price. Call 0800 502 402.
We're at 25 Moray Place at Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focused on the craft of what we're doing. You know, we're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
Mobility Solutions Centre Dunedin provides products to improve your independence, comfort and safety. Contact the team at 4777 195 or visit mobilitysolutioncentre.co.nz.
We need your help to rebuild our animal centre urgently. Please give a little today.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Pregnant? Need to talk? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pregnancy counselling services are here to help. It's free, it's confidential. Call us now on 0800 773 462.
It actually changes your mental state. I mean, if you could you could have a bad day, you could walk in to the house and here's the cat or the dog come up to greet you. No matter how bad a day you've had, it's just disappeared.
Welcome back, and now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Business confidence throughout Otago is improving, according to the latest Pulse and Higgs survey, but challenges remain for the commercial sector. Professional triathlete Dougal Allen is making the most of a change in scenery, training in Oamaru for races in China as well as New Zealand. And after sharing her Antarctic experiences, a Portobello printmaker is setting her sights on a trip to one of the hottest places on Earth. It's time now to find out what's going to be in tomorrow's Otago Daily Times, and we're joined by editor Barry Stewart. Good evening.
Hello, Rebecca. 2 people were arrested at Dunedin Airport this afternoon with meth for supply. Bit of drama out there. Refurbishing and strengthening
It's not easy at the best of
Dunedin's
times.
historic courthouse is expected to cost more than $18 million. And of course we celebrate Dunedin's golden girl, Anna Grimaldi, which I believe you've already covered, but our sports reporter Jeff Cheshire has talked to Anna at the Rio Paralympics, so we've got her story there, so that's worth having a look at.
He would have been grinning. Do you get my joke?
No.
Like a Cheshire cat?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not funny when you have to explain it, is it?
Wasn't funny anyway. Dunedin Civil Defence Chief Neil Brown has retired. And what is that mysterious substance on the one-way street?
I noticed that. Looks like
Did
chalk.
you? Yeah, wow. Yeah, we have the answers.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you now, but you'll have to read the paper. Okay. In sport, we have a look at the preview for the All Blacks versus Argentina. We also look out for our massive coverage of the Dunedin Marathon, which is held this weekend. So on Monday's edition, we'll have all the results and all the faces and all the great stories from that. And also, we have, of course, The Mix, our feature reading for the weekend, stack of good stories there. So
Marvellous. That is the weekend edition of the Otago Daily Times. Thank you, Barry.
thank you.
It's time now for tomorrow's weather.
The South Today weather update proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorns Emu Oil.
And here is our southern view. It's taken from the Skyline Gondola in Queenstown. Some paragliders. Beautiful day. Well, to the situation, and a large anticyclone is moving over the country this weekend. It's bringing clear skies and frosty nights. All right, well, we are looking like a fine and beautiful day almost everywhere. Lovely weather for the Catlins with a high of 13 tomorrow. And another fine one for Queenstown. It was a postcard day too, wasn't it? 14 degrees. And a fine one also for Twizel with a high of 13. Dunedin tonight remaining fine but frosty, down to -3. Tomorrow fine with light nor'easters developing in the afternoon. Frosts again at night with a high of 12. And on Sunday, sunny periods and northerly winds with 15 degrees. And in Invercargill this evening, fine but frosty with -3. Tomorrow, fine weather with light westerlies developing in a high of 13. And on Sunday, cloud increasing, nor'westers freshening with 14 degrees. And my pick for washing day this weekend in both Dunedin and Invercargill, definitely Sunday. Well, that is news from around the south today. We'll take a break over the weekend. We'll see you again on Monday. Good night.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.